Thinking of exiting your business or taking on a private equity partner to help you grow faster? BizNexus has you covered. Tap into our network of thousands of best-fit investors, acquirers, and proven M&A advisors, and we'll help you begin the relationship confidentially on your terms, your timeline. Learn more at biznexus.com.
Disclaimer from the always present legal team. Podcast conversations don't necessarily reflect the views of BizNexus Incorporated. Everything you hear is informational news and updates from around the industry. We're not recommending any investments. We're not offering any investment advice. Be sure to do your own homework.
All right, get ready to dive deep into email deliverability in 2025. We're talking about how to make sure your emails land in those inboxes and escape the dreaded spam folder. Our source today is a super interesting LinkedIn post by an expert, Brigitta Ruha. She even includes some visuals, which always helps. And the comment section is like gold. Real people sharing what works for them. You know, it's like a window into what's actually happening out there.
Yeah, the comments are a treasure trove of insights, for sure.
Okay, so Brigitta really nails the core issue right off the bat. She says, you can't get responses if you don't land in the inbox. And you don't know if you landed inbox until you check Google plus Microsoft score.
So true. And I think so many people miss that. They spend hours, crafting the perfect email. But what's the point if it never even reaches the inbox?
Right. It's like baking this amazing cake and then realizing, oh, I forgot to turn on the oven.
Haha, yeah, perfect analogy. And that's where those inbox scores come in. They basically tell you how email providers see you. Like, are you a trustworthy sender or what?
So it's like a secret rating system behind the scene.
Exactly. And your score directly impacts your deliverability.
Makes sense.
So Brigitta's first tip is all about setting yourself up for success, technically speaking.
Okay, so what does that involve?
It's about getting those configurations right. SPF, DKIM, DMARC.
Oh, okay, yeah. Those acronyms always sound a little intimidating.
I know, right? But basically they're like showing your ID at the door, proving to email providers that you are who you say you are, that you're a legitimate sender.
Okay, so like verifying your identity.
Exactly. If you don't have these set up correctly, email providers might think you're suspicious.
Oh, so your emails could end up in spam.
Yeah, spam folder, or even worse, blocked completely.
Shakes.
That's where a tool Brigitta mentions can really help.
Oh, what's that?
It's called Maildoso, and it helps simplify all that technical stuff.
So even if you're not like a tech wizard, you can still get it right?
Exactly. It's like having a tech expert on your side.
I like the sound of that.
Now, here's the really crazy part. Brigitta says that 90% of people are overlooking these inbox scores.
Whoa, 90%. That's a huge number.
It is, and it's hurting their campaigns.
So why are these scores so crucial?
Think of it like a credit score, but for your email sending reputation.
Oh, okay.
A high score means you're trustworthy, your emails are valuable, so you're more likely to land in the inbox.
And a low score?
Well, you might end up in that spam folder forever.
Makes sense. It's not enough to just have great content, right?
Right. You need to have a good reputation with those email providers.
Absolutely.
And that brings us to Brigitta's next tip, multiple inboxes.
Multiple inboxes. I've never heard of that before.
Yeah, she recommends having 3 to 5 inboxes per domain. It's a bit of a strategy for better deliverability.
Okay, so why would you want multiple inboxes?
Well, it's about spreading out your sending volume. Instead of blasting thousands of emails from one inbox, you distribute them across multiple ones.
So it's like not putting all your eggs in one basket.
Yeah, and it makes you look less like a bulk sender, more like an individual, which email providers like...
Oh, interesting. So it's about kind of flying under the radar.
Exactly. But of course, there are some things to consider.
Like what?
Well, managing multiple inboxes can be a bit more work, obviously.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And you need to make sure each inbox has a good sending reputation.
Oh, so it's not just a set it and forget it kind of thing.
Right, it's a trade-off.
Okay, so moving on to Brigitta's third tip, she's all about verification, making sure your lead list is squeaky clean.
Yeah, she emphasizes keeping your bounce rate under 5%.
Bounce rate. Okay, so what exactly is that?
It's the percentage of your emails that don't get delivered.
Oh, okay.
And a high bounce rate is a major red flag for email providers.
Why is that?
Because it suggests you might be sending to invalid addresses or inactive ones.
Oh, so it's like sending invitations to a party, but half the names on your list are fake.
Yeah, not a good look. It hurts your credibility and makes you look spammy.
Which means you're more likely to end up in the spam folder.
Exactly.
So verification is key.
It's crucial for maintaining a good sending reputation.
Got it. Okay, so we've talked about inbox scores, making sure your tech setup is right, and keeping your email list clean. What other gems does Brigitta have for us?
Well, get this. She says that plain text emails can actually outperform those fancy HTML templates.
Really? I would have thought a well-designed HTML email would be more engaging.
Yeah, it seems counterintuitive, right? But there's a reason for it.
Okay, I'm all ears.
It's all about psychology and, those pesky spam filters. Plain text emails feel more personal, like a note from a friend, so people tend to engage with them more.
I see.
Plus, they're less likely to trigger spam filters because they don't have all those bells and whistles that HTML emails often do.
It's like the difference between getting a handwritten note and a mass-produced flyer, right?
Exactly.
And speaking of keeping things simple, Brigitta's next tip is all about signature simplicity.
Yeah, she's a big believer in that.
I'm all for simplicity, but why is less more when it comes to email signatures?
Well, those super complex signatures with tons of images and links, they can actually trigger spam filters, believe it or not. They just look kind of suspicious.
Oh, I never thought about that.
So a clean signature with your name, title, and maybe a website link is best.
Keeps things professional and safe.
Exactly.
So another instance of playing it safe to avoid those spam filters.
Right. And actually, the rest of Brigitta's tips kind of tie in with what we've already discussed.
Okay, cool. Give us the rundown.
So tip number 6 is all about patience. Building trust with email providers takes time. She recommends warming up new inboxes gradually.
Warming them up. How do you do that?
It's like starting with a low sending volume and then slowly increasing it over time.
Oh, so you don't want to overwhelm them right away.
Exactly. You're basically easing those new inboxes into the world of email.
Smart.
Then, tip number 7 is about keeping things fresh, changing your email copy regularly, at least monthly. And she even suggests using AI and Spintax to create variations.
AI and Spintax, those sound pretty high-tech.
Yeah, but they can be really helpful.
So what do they do?
Well, Spintax basically creates different versions of your email copy automatically by swapping out certain words or phrases.
Interesting.
And AI can help generate those variations, make sure they sound good.
Oh, so it's like having a team of copywriters working for you behind the scenes.
Yeah, kind of.
Constantly tweaking your emails to keep them unique.
Right, so you're not sending the exact same email over and over again.
Which could trigger those spam filters.
Exactly.
Clever.
And finally, tip number 8 goes hand in hand with that. It's about updating your campaign content frequently. Every 2 to 4 weeks, she recommends.
Okay, so why is that important?
It keeps your messaging relevant, Make sure you're not sending stale content that could end up in spam.
It's like giving your email campaigns a regular makeover.
Exactly.
Keep them looking fresh and up to date.
Now, let's talk about this tool that's getting a lot of attention in the comments. It's called Maildoso.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of buzz about it. People seem to really love it.
They do, and for good reason.
So what are people saying about it?
Well, they're praising it for being super easy to use and effective.
Okay, so it lives up to the hype.
It seems like it. People say it takes the guesswork out of all that technical setup. The SPF, DKIM, DMARC stuff we talked about.
Right, which can be a huge headache.
Totally. And remember Brigitta's point about checking your Google and Microsoft scores?
Yeah.
Well, Maildoso actually has tools to help you do that.
Oh, wow. So you can get on top of your sending reputation.
Exactly. Catch any potential problems early on.
That's awesome.
And several people in the comments mentioned that using Maildoso has led to better deliverability and response rates.
So it's actually making a difference.
Yeah, they're seeing more emails land in the inbox.
Which means more opportunities to connect with their audience.
Exactly.
Sounds like Maildoso could be a game changer.
It could be, especially if you're struggling with deliverability.
What's really cool is that it seems to work for both experienced marketers and those who are just starting out.
Yeah, that speaks to its user-friendliness. Like, it doesn't matter what your level of expertise is.
Makes it accessible to everyone.
And it really aligns with Brigitta's whole philosophy, right? Simplifying email deliverability, making it less intimidating.
Absolutely. Oh, and I noticed Brigitta actually jumped into the comments herself to share a link to her full deliverability guide.
Oh, nice.
So if anyone wants to dive even deeper, they can check that out.
Yeah, it's a fantastic resource, packed with great info. And actually, it leads us perfectly into a thought-provoking question that one of the commenters brought up.
Okay, so we've uncovered a ton of great stuff from Brigitta's post in the comments. But you know that stat about 90% of people overlooking inbox scores? It really made me think.
Yeah, it's kind of eye-opening, isn't it?
It is, because it makes you wonder, are those scores really enough?
That's a good question. It's like checking your credit score, but only with 2 banks. Important, sure, but it's not the whole picture.
Exactly. So much of this advice seems focused on getting past Google and Microsoft. But what about all the other email providers out there?
Yeah, you're right. It's a bit of a blind spot. You could have amazing scores with Google and Microsoft, but still be landing in spam for a whole bunch of your audience.
That's a scary thought. So is there any way to know for sure if you're reaching everyone? Or do you have to become like an expert on every single email platform?
Well, there's no magic bullet, unfortunately, but I think the fundamentals we've talked about today are key. Having a good sending reputation, engaging content, respecting your audience, those are universal.
Okay, so those are like the foundation. And then you adapt based on the specifics of each platform?
Exactly. You might need to tweak things like how often you send emails, how many images you use. Even your subject lines might need to change.
That sounds like a lot of work.
It can be, but it's worth it because the goal is to connect with your audience, right? Wherever they are.
That's true. So for everyone listening, if you really want to master email deliverability, don't be afraid to experiment, analyze, get granular.
Yeah, really dive into those different platforms.
And of course, Brigitta's full deliverability guide is a great place to start.
Oh, yeah, definitely check that out.
You can find it at getmaildoso.com/deliverability-guide. Well, that's all the time we have for today's deep dive into email deliverability.
It's been a great conversation.
Thanks for joining us, everyone, and go forth and conquer those inboxes.
Acquiring a business? BizNexus simplifies it. Access thousands of updated opportunities in our DIY marketplace or supercharge team sourcing with OmniSource, your all-in-one platform for on-market, off-market, and coming-soon deals. Scale smarter today. Learn more or book a demo at www.biznexus.com.